Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video we will start chapter 2 of periodontology, that is periodontal microbiology. There are 88 questions in this chapter, so we will solve the questions in 3 parts. In this video, that is the first part of the video, we will solve 30 questions. So let's begin. Now question 1. Of the following 4 bacterial species, which is least likely to be found in plaque? Option A, Actinomyces viscosus. Option B, Streptococcus mutans. Option C, Streptococcus salivarius. Or option D, Streptococcus sanguis. So the answer is option C, Streptococcus salivarius. Explanation है Streptococcus sanguis, Streptococcus mitis, Streptococcus mutans and Actinomyces viscosus are present in plaque. Streptococcus salivarius is the first organism to appear in the mouth after birth and is the predominant organism in saliva. It is not usually found in plaque. It is a non-pathogenic bacteria and forms the longest chain. Okay, so this Streptococcus salivarius is least likely to be found in plaque. Now question 2. The common etiology of periodontitis is option A, occlusal trauma, option B, systemic factors, option C, local irritating factors, or option D, hormonal defect. So the most common etiology of periodontitis is option C, local irritating factors. Explanation है local factors are the common etiological agents of periodontitis. Systemic factors cause periodontitis in the presence of local factors by exaggerating the tissue response to local factors. Another question is, systemic factors are important in the pathogenesis of periodontal disease because they can. Answer is because they intensify the response of the periodontium to the etiologic and local factors. Okay. So the common etiology of periodontitis is local irritating factors. Now question 3. Predominant bacteria found in 2 days old plaque. Option A is Streptococci, option B Bacteroides, option C Spirochetes, or option D Actinomyces. So the answer is option A, Streptococci. Explanation है the initial bacteria colonizing the pellicle coated tooth surface are predominantly gram-positive facultative anaerobic cocci followed by rods such as Streptococcus sanguis and Actinomyces viscosus. The secondary colonizers adheres to the cells of bacteria already present in plaque. They are predominantly gram-negative anaerobic rods and filaments such as P. gingivalis, P. intermedia, Fusobacterium and Capnocytophaga species. Another question is also asked, secondary colonizer of plaque are all except option A Prevotella intermedia, option B Fusobacterium nucleatum, option C Streptococcus sanguis, option D Porphyromonas gingivalis. So the answer is Streptococcus sanguis. Right? This is not the secondary colonizer, it is the primary colonizer. Now question 4. In deep older plaque, option A Streptococci and Actinomyces are replaced by rod-like organism. Option B Streptococci are completely replaced by Neisseria. Option C Streptococci, Actinomyces and Veillonella remain prominent. Or option D Actinomyces are completely replaced by Streptococci. So the answer is option A, Streptococci and Actinomyces are replaced by rod-like organism. Okay. Now question 5. Actinobacillus actinomycetum comitans is option A gram-positive aerobe, option B gram-negative aerobe, option C obligate anaerobe, or option D facultative anaerobe. So the answer is option D, facultative anaerobe. Explanation is Agrigentibacter actinomycetum comitans, previously A. Actinomycetum comitans, is a gram-negative capnophilic facultative anaerobic rod type of organism often implicated in the pathogenesis of localized juvenile periodontitis. It is also associated with chronic adult periodontitis and refractory periodontitis. Okay. Now question number 6. Actinobacillus actinomycetum comitans is commonly associated with option A juvenile periodontitis, option B adult periodontitis, Option C, refractory periodontitis. Option D, all of the above. So the answer is all of the above. We have studied about it in the previous question. Now question 7. The supragingival plaque causes. So options are A, gingivitis, option B, periodontitis, option C, pericoronitis, option D, aphthous ulcers. So we know that supragingival plaque causes gingivitis. So the answer is option A, gingivitis. Supragingival marginal plaque causes gingivitis. Supragingival and subgingival tooth attached plaque are critical in formation of calculus and root caries. Subgingival tissue attached plaque causes soft tissue lesions characteristic of different forms of periodontitis. Okay. Now question 8. The organism least likely to be found in the normal gingival crevices is option A, Fusobacterium species, option B, Actinomyces species, option C, diphtheroids, option D, Streptococci species. So the answer is diphtheroids. The diphtheroids are usually not seen in the gingival crevices. Now question 9. The sticky polysaccharide present in dental plaque is. So the answer is option A, dextran. The interbacterial matrix accounts for 20 to 30% of the plaque mass. It is made up of dextrans and levain. Dextran is the glucose moiety of sucrose, which is insoluble, sticky, and levain is the fructose moiety of sucrose synthesized by the plaque bacteria. Calcium, phosphorus, fluoride, etc. are the inorganic components of the plaque. Okay. Now question 10. Which of the following organism is not implicated in the etiology of periodontal diseases? Option A, Bacteroides, option B, Vollinella, option C, Neisseria, option D, Echinella. So the answer is option C, Neisseria. Explanation is the bacteria associated with periodontal health, that is protective species, are S. sanguis, S. mitis, S. viscosus, A. Neisseria, Capnocytophaga, Neisseria, Veillonella, etc. The bacteria associated with periodontal disease are P. gingivalis, P. intermedia, A. Actinomycetum comitans, Echinella, Fusobacterium, and Eubacterium species, etc. So the answer is Neisseria. It is a protective species, not related to the etiology of periodontal disease. Now question 11. Beneficial microorganism seen in oral cavity. Option A, Entamoeba histolytica, option B, P. gingivalis, option C, Candida albicans, option D, Veillonella parvula. So the answer is option D, Veillonella parvula. Certain bacterial species have been proposed to be protective or beneficial to the host, including S. sanguis, Veillonella parvula, and C. ochraceus. They are typically found in high numbers at periodontal sites that do not demonstrate attachment loss, but in low numbers at sites where active periodontal destruction occurs. These species probably function in preventing the colonization or proliferation of pathogenic microorganisms. The recovery of microorganisms from periodontally healthy sites is higher compared with that from diseased sites. Okay. Now question 12. Most important initiative factor for periodontitis is option A, dental plaque, option B, calculus, option C, trauma from occlusion, option D, food debris layer. So the answer is dental plaque. Plaque is a biofilm with a regular intercellular matrix consisting predominantly of the microorganisms responsible for periodontitis. The most common cause of gingivitis and periodontitis is bacteria-laden local plaque. Now question 13. Dental plaque adheres to the tooth because option A, levains are gummy, option B, dextrans are insoluble and sticky, option C, plaque grows into the irregularities, option D, microorganisms produce sticky lipoproteins. So the answer is option B, dextrans are insoluble and sticky. Okay. Now question 14. In which of the following conditions is the role of microbial plaque most obscure? Option A, periodontitis, option B, juvenile periodontitis, option C, desquamative gingivitis, option D, necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. So the answer is option C, desquamative gingivitis. Plaque do not cause desquamative gingivitis. Desquamative gingivitis is a non-specific manifestation of certain autoimmune diseases, that is lichen planus, pemphigoid and pemphigus, and hormonal changes such as menopause. Okay, now question 15. Corn cob appearance is seen in option A supragingival calculus, option B subgingival calculus, option C supragingival plaque, option D subgingival plaque. So the answer is supragingival plaque. Corn cob appearance is seen in supragingival plaque. Corn cob structures are highly specific cell-to-cell interactions. The corn cob formations have rod-shaped bacterial cells, example Bacterionema or F. nucleatum, that form the inner core of the structure, and coccal cells, example Streptococci, that attach along the surface of the rod-shaped cell. Supragingival plaque typically demonstrates corn cob structures. Now question 16. Central gram-negative core supporting outer coccal cells is called. So its answer is corn cob arrangement. In the previous question we have studied about it. Now question 17. Breakdown of periodontal fibers in periodontitis is due to the bacterial enzyme, or which of the following bacterial products have been implicated in the initiation of inflammatory periodontal diseases? Option A is collagenase, option B hyaluronidase, option C coagulase, option D none of the above. So the answer is option A, collagenase. Collagenase is responsible for the breakdown of periodontal fibers in periodontitis. It is released by bacteria such as P. gingivalis, polymorphonuclear leukocytes, and some populations of fibroblasts. Hyaluronidase causes breakdown of ground substance and helps in spread of inflammation, cellulitis. Now question 18. Pellicle formation involves option A adsorption of acidic glycoproteins from saliva, option B focal areas of mineralization, option C focal areas of necrosis, option D bacterial colonization. So the answer is option A, adsorption of acidic glycoproteins from saliva. Formation of plaque occurs in three phases. Formation of pellicle, initial colonization of the tooth surface, and then secondary colonization and plaque maturation. Pellicle formation occurs by selective adsorption of salivary glycoproteins by electrostatic, van der Waals and hydrophobic forces. Now question 19. Which of the following is the common factor for the initiation of both dental caries and periodontal diseases? Option A bacterial plaque, option B lactic acid, option C calculus, option D no common factor. So the answer is option A bacterial plaque. Explanation है early supragingival plaque contains gram-positive cocci and rods, while mature supragingival plaque contains gram-negative rods and filament. These organisms cause gingivitis. Bacteria found in gingivitis are localized in gingival sulcus and very few may be present in connective tissues. Second, subgingival tooth associated plaque contains gram-positive cocci and rods which result in root surface caries. Example, actinomyces viscosus. Third, subgingival tissue attached plaque contains gram-negative bacteria. Example, P. gingivalis, Bacteroides, etc., which may cause destruction of the periodontal tissue. So, the common factor for initiation of dental caries and periodontal disease is dental plaque. Now question 20. Severe alveolar bone loss as observed in juvenile periodontitis is associated with option A cyclic neutropenia, option B lysis of neutrophils, option C increased phagocytosis, option D neutrophil chemotactic defects or impaired neutrophil chemotaxis. So the answer is option D, neutrophil chemotactic defects or impaired neutrophil chemotaxis. Explanation है in juvenile periodontitis there is functional defect of PMN chemotaxis and phagocytosis of microorganisms. This defect may be induced by the invading bacteria, that is A. Actinomycetum comitans. Now question 21. The inorganic component of plaque is primary. Calcium and fluoride, calcium and sodium, calcium and phosphorus or calcium and sodium. So the answer is option C, calcium and phosphorus. Plaque contains about 5% of inorganic components. The principal inorganic component of plaque matrix are calcium and phosphorus. Other elements are magnesium, potassium, sodium and fluoride. Fluoride deters the metabolism of plaque bacteria and aids in the remineralization of the tooth surface. The source of the inorganic component of supragingival plaque is saliva, and for subgingival plaque is GCF. Question 22. Co-aggregation is mainly predominated by option A, interaction between gram-positive bacteria, option B, interaction between gram-negative bacteria, option C, interaction between gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, or option D, none of the above. So the answer is option B, interaction between gram-negative bacteria. Explanation is the ability of different species and genera of plaque bacteria to adhere one another is known as co-aggregation or test tube arrays. Co-aggregation is predominant among gram-negative organisms. This process occurs primarily through the highly specific stereochemical interaction of protein and carbohydrate molecules located on the bacterial cell surfaces, in addition to the less specific interactions resulting from hydrophobic, electrostatic, and van der Waals forces. Examples of these type of interactions are the co-aggregation of Fusobacterium nucleatum with P. gingivalis or Treponema denticola. Fusobacteria co-aggregate with all other human oral bacteria, while Veillonella species, Capnocytophaga species, and Prevotella species bind to Streptococci and or Actinomyces. Each newly accreted cell becomes itself a new surface and therefore may act as a co-aggregation bridge to the next potentially accreting cell type that passes by. Most co-aggregations among strains of different genera are mediated by lectin like adhesins and can be inhibited by lactose and other galactosides. Now question 23. Which of the following is a periodontal pathogen? Option A, S. sanguis, option B, S. mutans, option C, A. viscosus, option D, P. gingivalis. So the answer is option D, P. gingivalis. Option B, Streptococcus mutans cause enamel caries. Option C, A. viscosus is considered as etiologic organism of root surface caries. Okay. Question 24. Increase in steroid hormones are associated with significant increase in option A, Actinomyces viscosus, option B, Prevotella intermedia, option C, Streptococcus sanguis, option D, Campylobacter rectus. So the answer is option B, Prevotella intermedia. Corman, K.S. et al. In 1982 concluded that increase in the steroid hormones are associated with significant increase in the proportions of P. intermedia in subgingival plaque. Okay. Now question 25. The carbohydrate not associated with dental plaque is option A, dextrose, option B, levans, option C, glucose, option D, rhamnose. So the answer is option D, rhamnose. Rhamnose is not associated with dental plaque. Question 26. A specific plaque hypothesis was put forward by. So the answer is Lusch. Explanation है both specific and non-specific plaque hypothesis are proposed by Lusch. Non-specific hypothesis states that periodontal diseases results from elaboration of noxious products by the entire plaque flora. The periodontal disease can be treated by debridement, that is surgical or non-surgical, and oral hygiene measures. Even though non-specific hypothesis is discarded, most of clinical treatment is still based on non-specific plaque hypothesis only. Now, alternative or specific hypothesis. It states that only certain plaque is pathogenic and recognizes plaque as pathogenic only when the signs of associated disease are present. Option B, Lisgarten described the 4 zones: bacterial zone, neutrophil rich zone, necrotic zone, and zone of spirochetal infection in Anug. Okay. Another question is also asked, specific plaque hypothesis is. So specific plaque hypothesis is specific microorganisms are responsible for the pathogenicity of plaque. Now question 27. Which is the most numerous component of plaque? Option A, minerals, option B, food debris, option C, microorganisms, or option D, leukocytes. So the answer is microorganisms. Question 28. Which surface of tooth has most of plaque? Option A, gingival third of tooth surface, option B, incisal 1/3 of tooth surface, option C, middle third of tooth surface, option D, uniform on all surface. So its answer is gingival third of tooth surface. Plaque preferentially forms on non-self-cleansing areas. Plaque accumulates on the gingival third of the tooth surface due to lack of movement of food and tissues during mastication, and also in cracks, pits and fissures. Now question 29. Bacterial fingerprinting illustrate that periodontal pathogens are option A contagious, option B non-contagious, option C transmissible within members of same colonies, or option D non-transmissible. So the answer is option C, transmissible within members of same colonies. Molecular fingerprinting techniques clearly illustrate that periodontal pathogens are transmissible within the members of a family. This bacterial transmission between subjects should not be confused with contagious. Now question 30. In later phases of plaque development, the organism predominates. Option A Staphylococci, option B Streptococci, option C rods and filaments, option D Vibrio and spirochetes. So the answer is option C, rods and filaments. In the later phases of plaque development, the rods and filaments predominates. So we have done 30 questions of this chapter. I hope you liked this video. If you like this video, please do like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much.